Yeah. Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss, and you ain't gotta give a about no code.
Tell me who unleashed our animal instinct. Why the op standing there tickle pink? Have a drink, no more liquor. Got a poison. One thicker, one gangster, one hole in the desert for the snitch. What happened to the cold? What's this?
Welcome back into the Franchise Podcast, where we cover all things sports and entertainment from a Las Vegas perspective. I'm your host, Nyshawn Zaragoza. We're back with another episode, joined by yours truly, Joe Rigo, TQ. Gentlemen,
What up, what up?
we were missing last week, missing in action, but we are back. How are you guys doing?
Can't complain, man. I've been on vacation. It's Gemini season. I had a great birthday. Was down in Hawaii, eating fresh poke. Got a hold of some of that
day.
Maui Wowie.
Yeah, I know you're on that Maui, that Tropic Thunder.
Yo, shouts out to the 808. I love y'all. You treated me wonderfully. I had a good time. I'm trying to come back before the summer's out.
I'm just sad you didn't see Jay Gucci while you were down there, man.
Yo, bro, you know what? I got into too many different bits of mischief, and I just couldn't make it to Gucci. Bro, at some point, we're going to make it happen. Promise you that.
All right, guys, we're about to get right into it because this show is going to be all about us ladies
Yes.
today, with the biggest topic of them all being the WNBA. I'm sure you guys have seen the action over the course of the weekend with Caitlyn Clark, and when things were just getting just a little bit simmered down, something very, very big happened. I'm going to let Joe brief you guys on the topics of Caitlyn Clark, what exactly happened, and then they're going to give their take on if they believe that the WNBA is being too rough on Caitlyn Clark.
You know, what we seen over the weekend was the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever playing in a game where Caitlyn Clark got hip checked by a Sky player. And it became a huge talking point because it's Caitlyn Clark. And it's happened quite frequently in the WNBA in the last 12, 13 or so games. So when you look at where things are with her at this moment, they don't talk about what happened prior to that on the other side of the court when she pushed the girl underneath the basket, or when they went down and before she hit the jump shot and hip checked her, she was trying to rebound and Caitlyn Clark pushed her, and all the jawing that was going on. It's one of those things where you don't see it, but you see what happens to her. And I think there's a lot of I think there are certain players that are jealous of what's going on. There's some resentment that she's getting all this attention and all the credit for the league growing. In particular, people are saying, oh, when she said that they need charter flights, 2 days later there was charter flights. That was in the makings for the last couple of years.
Right.
It's been the players union was working on it.
Right.
Like, it's not because Caitlyn Clark snapped her fingers magically and there's chartered flights now.
Right.
Like, she doesn't have that power. Like, it may be the general public's perception, but that's the problem. We're living in a microwave society full of hot takes where they don't do their homework. They don't go in and look at what happened prior to it. So I think there is some of the players are a little frustrated. And this is the WNBA. This isn't Iowa versus Indiana or Iowa versus Iowa State. This is grown women against girls, young women coming out of college. Excuse me for saying girls. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. It is very frustrating because it's taken away from the growth of the WNBA, at least the perception-wise with a lot of people, because now it's all about Caitlyn Clark, and it's not about the WNBA as a whole and the growth that's been happening with the league squeeze. At this point, like, we cover and been covering one of the best teams since the inception of our company, and really since the first year they were here in Vegas. The league was still growing then. The league has grown then. It's not because Caitlyn Clark was still in high school when this league when the Aces started their run here in Vegas.
I think we have to, we can't put this all in a bubble, right? And I think that's what's happening. There is a just like this foregoing thought that Caitlyn Clark has done all of this for the WNBA. That's not the case. What is the case is what Caitlyn Clark has done for women's basketball, period, right? There is a distinction. You have to make a distinction between the W itself and the sport. What she's done has had a major impact on the sport, right? Look at the difference between these last two Sweet 16s in the women's game and the ones prior to it. Look, that's due to Caitlyn Clark. That's due to Angel Reese. That's due to this rookie class that has come into this
Cameron
leadership.
Brink.
Right. This is a generational rookie class. I believe that we're going to see some really great basketball players at the end of their career that will go down in history that came out of this class. But the bottom line is when we get down to the WNBA itself, last year, when all of these ladies were in college, the WNBA saw its largest growth since 2018. And when I say largest, it's grown leaps and bounds in TV viewership, in social media. Across the board, it's grown exponentially. And that part for the league had nothing to do with Caitlyn Clark.
To your point with that, the Aces have the 4th largest average attendance or a growth of attendance in the WNBA.
Caveat.
Okay. Yeah, and there is, and we'll get to that in a minute. They're averaging over 10,000 fans a game, 10,369 and 50 to be exact, in 4 games. Now, that's a total of 41,478 women and children and men watching the WNBA at Michelob Ultra Arena. The high end of that is 10,419, and the low end is 10,286. That means 10,286 people show up to a game. That's the lowest attendance for an Aces game where they'll play on a Tuesday night or a Saturday afternoon. It's not like they're playing in prime time. They're playing Tuesdays and Saturdays when people got to go to work the next day and it's a weekend in Vegas and everybody got somebody out here. Now, the Fever have the largest jump in attendance from like, I want to say it's about 4,000 people to over 12,000 now. Right. Of course you do. You got the number one pick and a person they say is potentially generational. So there's going to be that. And they sucked. So now when we got a figure.
Wait, you have the best college basketball player of all time.
You think so?
It comes down to points. Mm-hmm. She scored more points than any other college basketball player in history. Like, give Caitlyn Clark her credit for what she's done for women's basketball, for what she's doing for women's basketball, but do not drag the WNBA through the mud as you do it. Because my take is, call me a homer all you want. I don't care. We got receipts. You'll see the receipts throughout this show. We've been covering the Las Vegas Aces for years, just like you just said. I'm here to tell you that the growth in the WNBA that started before Caitlyn Clark got here was due to Asia Wilson.
She played a huge role
in the Las Vegas Aces. It's the best basketball player in the WNBA and the best coach in the WNBA, and it's the 2-time defending champs, about to be 3 times when Chelsea Gray gets back.
I think with the Aces, they have earned that right? It's a star power. They have now 2 championships, so they've earned that. But the thing with Caitlyn Clark is that I understand that there's a different physicality of the game from WNBA to college, right? It's just a completely different physicality. But a lot of people haven't been watching WNBA long enough to understand that. So what we see as a hard foul or a wrong foul or what happened with, I believe her name's Kennedy Clark, right?
Yes. I don't know if you pronounce it Kennedy or Chinity. It's spelled Chinity.
It is spelled Chinity. I think it's Kennedy. But, what we've seen as that, what a lot of people were like, she should have got thrown out of the game because we understand it's a different physicality of the game. So there was so much, I feel like, talk in regards to that. I will say and admit to Caitlyn Clark, she is making a dynamic change in path to the WNBA, but we're now starting to see it because no one was watching WNBA 5 years ago. So we're like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all surprising to a lot of people out here because it's all new and it's all fresh and no one expected it to be as physical as it is. Yeah. Caitlyn Clark has made impact as far as her debut, making 2.11 million views. That's honestly more than what the WNBA gets in an entire season. Facts. So we see the ratings and we see the numbers, but we do understand now people are understanding the overall subject of the game.
Yeah, this league, I know a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy, but I don't care. I'm sitting there with a camera that can look up somebody's nose on the other side of the arena. I'm right under the basket. Trish is too. I got music ears, man. I said this about football. I'm closer to it in basketball than you are in football. I've shot more women's professional basketball than I've shot men's professional basketball.
Facts.
What I love and what I started loving in the beginning about the WNBA and what I started disliking about the NBA, this league is a tougher league.
Yeah.
No, Kennedy Carter is? Hopefully that's how we pronounce her name. Anthony Mason. Charles Oakley. X-Man.
Yes.
Dennis Rodman. The Bad Boy Pistons. That's the basketball we came from.
Bill Laimbeer. Former Aces head coach.
Come on, man. This league is tough. Mm-hmm. They beat up every rookie that comes in. Man, the fact is, just what Nye said, nobody's been watching, but we have.
I tweeted out a video. Nick Hamilton initially tweeted it out. Shout out to Nick at Nightcast Media in LA. Love you, brother. It was Candace Parker when they were playing Detroit, and she went to box somebody out, and the girl grabbed her arm and threw her down, and a fight broke out. And Rick Mahorn, another bad boy, pushed Lisa Leslie on the ground, and then Cheryl Ford blew her knee out in the fight. And that's the thing. This has been going on for years. And the thing is look at Cheryl. I'm just gonna name some names real quick. Cheryl Miller, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Swoop, Shamiqua Holtzclaw, Mia Moore, Becky Hammond, Rebecca Lobo, Lauren Jackson, Sue Bird, Sylvia Fowles, Ella Deladon, Brianna Stewart, Yolanda Griffin, Simone Augustus, Tina Thompson, Katie Smith, Brittany Griner, Tina Charles.
Boy.
That's what the league has been built on.
Period. No
offense, and it's not a shot at Asia in them because they're growing it now. These are the women who grew it.
Right.
And then after Asia is Caitlyn Clark.
Exactly.
Is Angel Reese.
Exactly.
Is Cameron Brink.
Right.
So the physicality of the league has always been there. I mean, and you said it, bro. The WNBA is what the NBA used to be.
Absolutely. That's what entertains me about it so much. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, look, we come from the land of the GOATs, all right? We watched Cheryl Miller in college.
100.
We watched Lisa Leslie in college.
Yep.
That's what excited us about when the league started. You remember when the first marketing for the league, it wasn't Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops.
No.
It was Lisa Leslie versus Rebecca Lobo.
New York versus LA.
New York versus LA. That's what they was billing it as. Then Cynthia Cooper said, "Nope, I got something to say about this."
With Tina Thompson and Cheryl Swoops, we built a super team.
We gonna have something else to say about this, right? And then as the NBA was getting ready to turn over to Kobe Bryant, so we stopped caring about the WNBA. Bottom line, from LA, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Then we start this company. As we start this company, we're in Steph Curry time. No touching, nobody.
Yeah.
Everything is a foul. No physicality whatsoever. Shoot the three, blah, blah, blah. My big issue with the WNBA in the beginning was what I felt, incorrectly, ladies, a lack of athleticism. Not playing above the rim. But when you look at the X's and O's, they played the beautiful game of basketball.
Fundamentals
And absolute toughness. And they talk shit constantly. They do not stop. I'm sitting there and I'm listening to some of the things that I hear come out of these ladies' mouths, bro.
We're not going to say no names because we love you guys.
We would be outside fighting. Their league is tougher than the men's version, and Caitlyn Clark is going to have to deal with it. Angel Reese is going to have to deal with it, and every rookie to come behind them. And I hope that it doesn't get so big that they change it into what the NBA is.
I think Angel Reese has already dealt with it. Angel Reese and her style of play has adapted more quickly to the physicality of the WNBA than Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah,
same thing with Cameron Brink.
It's a bigger girl.
But I think it goes to LSU's weight program.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? It goes to Cameron Brink where she was at her weight program. Where I don't know what the weight program is for the women's basketball team, but it's not what LSU's is.
Right.
And I think, and you look at Angel Reese now, where was the uproar in in all of this drama when she got thrown to the ground by Thomas a week ago. It was just, it's a flag. They moved it to a flagrant one. Yeah. There was no, they need to suspend her. There was none of that. So like, I see where Angel Reese is coming from. I'd be pissed too. It's like, why did she get this preferential treatment? And I'm gonna be the first one to say it. White privilege. It's the little white girl from Iowa. We can't mess with her. She's just a little white girl from Iowa, can shoot the ball, and she doesn't do anything wrong. No. She talks shit more than anybody.
She talks trash. But like, here's the thing, though. I completely understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, let's not allow the great white hope to take away from how good of a basketball player this woman is. She's damn good, bro.
Could be generational.
Absolutely. I'm not putting could be on it.
No,
I think she will be. If she doesn't, if she can beat injury, she's gonna end up one of the great ones.
I agree. And the injury is the only thing.
Right. And then the fact what she's done for women's basketball overall, I understand. This is a business, right? This is a business. This is marketing. This group, this league has seen exponential growth. They want to see more.
Yep.
I get it. So what changed the men's game? That physicality. That crowd did not want to see a bunch of big black dudes beating each other up. It's for families.
But see, that could stop the growth of the league, the WNBA, because they're not going to see a bunch of women beat themselves up.
That's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately,
that can be a problem.
And I go back to, it's not a to me, it's not a racial thing, but I think.
But people have created it to be that.
100%.
And now it feels like a form of division.
Absolutely
honestly, from
not.
Black people to white people. That's truly what it feels.
100%.
Agree. And you go back and I'll take it to the men. Look at Larry Bird. Larry Bird was getting his ass whooped when he came into the NBA. And then there was like a period of like, there's really no good white guys in the NBA. They're just fundamentally sound guys, Danny Ainge and Scott Skiles. And then all of a sudden, Utah's Keith Van Horn. Oh, he's the next Larry Bird. Keith Van Horn, the next Larry Bird. And wah, wah, wah. And then you got the Euros coming in. And then the label with Euros is they're soft.
Right.
So that's the way the league has gone. Now, there was a time when Jordan played where they outlawed, it was a hook. If you spin, you can kind of hook them and take off that way. And one game, they called it on Jordan. And Jordan was like, the hell? Like, I've been doing this. This is like in 87, 88. So it's at starting the ascension of being the greatest player in the league and of all time. And it was like, what's this? The league actually, someone from the league told the officials, they're like, well, this is a point of emphasis. You said to call it. And they're like, no, but you don't call it on him. Like the league, and you said we were talking about it last time on the phone. The league switched from being a physical league in part because of Jordan getting beat up by the Pistons.
Facts.
And then it went to the Knicks and they're like, okay, wait, like that. But then he got Grover and got big and that started to change the league a little bit. But the NBA was better back then. It may not have been as athletic because I think more athletes are playing now than then.
Yeah.
But the league changed it, and I think credit the WNBA for allowing everything to be natural.
Yeah.
The growth of the league be natural.
Absolutely.
And, it's frustrating because I want to like Caitlyn Clark. And I love her game. I think she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But with all of this stuff, and I think it's human nature, part of it's like, man, I'm tired of hearing about her. There's how many other women in this league? I want to hear about Asia Wilson, who should have been an MVP last year.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the Aces, who are the front runners to win another WNBA championship. I want to hear about Cameron Brink and what she's doing. Angel Reese, she shouldn't have got thrown out of the game on Tuesday night.
They rescinded that.
Yeah. Oh, they did? Well,
rescinded
good.
that
There was no reason for her to be thrown out. And now there's a target on her back. I want to hear about the other storylines of the league. I don't want to just hear about Caitlyn Clark.
But you have to understand also that numbers are the one that numbers pick the narrative.
Yes.
So it's not Caitlyn Clark's fault that they're talking about Caitlyn Clark.
Right.
It's what people want to hear about. It's what's making the most money and what's bringing the most viewership. If we're being quite frankly.
And honestly,
it's all competitive. It's competitive. This is a league. It's competitive. So therefore, you don't want to hear about Caitlyn Clark all the time. It's what's bringing in the viewers.
Yeah, let me talk about Caitlyn Clark all you want. I love to watch Caitlyn Clark play. I've loved it for the last 2 years. I've paid attention to her game. I love her game. I love the way she plays ball. I love her nastiness.
But she
don't
has
have to show-
nastiness?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, she
I mean,
got
they
a lot
don't
of it.
ever show that. I mean, all they show her is getting on the ground and chirping at officials and crying about a foul and her dad yelling at her to shut up in games.
Pay
Like that's
attention
what
to
I
her when
see.
she's off
I'm
ball.
being facetious, bro.
I understand, but I'm
All
just
right,
saying. I'm
guys.
telling everybody, pay attention to her when she's off ball. You'll like her a lot more.
We're moving along. And coming up next, we're going to talk about what Joe wants to talk about, the Las Vegas Aces, the rise of A'ja Wilson, everything that she's experiencing in this league right now, and just the impact that the Las Vegas Aces are making in the community, in women's basketball, and in Las Vegas. Welcome back into the Franchise Podcast. Now it's time to talk about all things the Las Vegas Aces. And TQ, I want to start with you because a lot of the talk has been around A'ja Wilson and if she is getting enough credit. I want to know, in your opinion, from over the course of the events of what you're seeing during offseason and into this season, do you believe that she gets enough credit?
I think that she would if it wasn't for this unbelievable rookie class. This is a hell of a rookie class that has given us 2 years straight of great competition in the women's game in college. And I think that that momentum has carried them over to the league now, and it's kind of casting a shadow over what's been happening before they got there. Kind of like what we said earlier. Look, anybody who knows anything about basketball understands who the best player in this league is. Period, point blank. Now, we're in a different position as most people. We get to watch the girl every night, get to watch the woman every night. And I think the best thing that could have happened for her and her future in the next couple of years of dominance, because she's dominating the league right now, is her getting snubbed on that MVP last year. Agreed. I believe that lit a fire, and I believe that the rest of the NBA is going to pay. The rest of the WNBA is going to pay for that snub for the next couple of years, and we won't be asking this question pretty soon. She will be receiving her due shortly.
Miss Pink and Green. I love it. God. I love it. Look, man, A'ja Wilson is one of my 4 favorite basketball players in the world to watch. Yeah. In general, like the way her low post game, she can step out and shoot, her defense, and then
footwork.
Everything, and then the shit that she talks.
Yes.
Like, I love everything about her game. And she not only should have been the MVP last year, she's well on her way to winning it this year. Yeah. With the double-double streak and where that stands. What she did in the WNBA finals, leading the team. The Aces in general, go to the beat of her drum. And I love how vocal. She's become more vocal this year than in years past. After the league investigation was announced, she was like, well, can't start the season without an investigation with the Aces. Yeah, I love the fact that she knows her place in the league now. And
owns it.
And exactly. She owns her place in the league now. Yeah. I'm the queen of the league.
Yes.
And this is what it is. And I'm not saying the rest of you are going to bow down, but I rule this until I decide I'm not going to rule it anymore. And I love the fact that Becky Hammond empowers her.
Wouldn't you?
Oh,
if you was her coach?
100%.
Yes.
100%. I love the fact that Becky, and that's what separates Becky from a lot of other coaches. They would try to hey, maybe you shouldn't. No, she's like, nah, talk your shit. Because I'm gonna talk it right with you. I love everything about what the Aces are doing right now, and it just goes to show that when you put your money where your mouth is, like Mark Davis has with the Aces, good things happen. And even going back to what we talked about last segment, I would love to hear what the players had to say about what's going on with the league as it's in growth and where they're at. Alicia Clark talked about it the other day. It's in a tweet that's out there. No one's asked them what's going on.
Right.
They want reactionary stuff. The Aces right now are like the 5th or 6th best storyline in the WNBA. Let them sleep on them, because all that's going to happen is you're going to look up and you're going to be like, damn, they won the President's Cup. Damn, they're now they're the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Oh, like Michelob Ultra is broken attendance records. Wait a minute. Yeah. They won 3 straight, but what about the don't matter. The Aces are going to be holding up 3 rings.
Side note, before you move off of it, Alicia, Sid, Asia, Chelsea, Kelsey, all of you, if you have anything that you would like to talk about, we have a seat for you right here on the Franchise Podcast.
In fact, we can do it June 18th at Sierra Gold. You guys are off that day. You play Seattle the next day. You have an open invite to come join us, hang out with us, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Your forum. We'll sit back and shut up and let you say whatever you want to say. Just come join us, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chelsea Gray. How big will it be, not only for the Las Vegas Aces, but for Las Vegas for her return?
Oh, it's gonna be huge. She is the glue. She is to sit. I love to shoot from in front of their bench, because the way I see it, the head coach is down on this side, the assistant coach is limping down on this side. Chelsea Gray, when she finishes playing ball, she is going to, if she wants to, she is going to be a great basketball coach.
Did you see?
She is an extension of Becky Hammond on the court
100%.
And on the bench.
That's awesome.
Constantly barking out plays, constantly telling people where to be. I mean, it's both of them talking right now. It's not just Becky. And Chelsea's done it on the court for her whole career. But to see her do it from the sideline, bro, the day she retires, somebody needs to hire her as their head coach.
Did you see the video of her and Sid talking behind the scenes about what happened in the finals? So there was a play late in the 4th quarter where Sid got the ball on a break, and she seen Alicia cutting to the basket, and she's behind the back pass and one hopper. And she was like, you know what would have happened if you'd have missed that pass? She goes, yeah, I would have been cut. I wouldn't be on the team anymore. But she's like, but I seen her flashing, and I knew I could get her the ball that way.
Yeah.
To have someone with Chelsea's IQ running the point. And by the way, on Wednesday, she was at practice making shots from half court.
Love it.
Against Martin. So, I mean, welcome back when you come back.
Get ready.
Because a run is going to happen.
You better believe
a run is going to happen. So she is the Magic Johnson to this team. She is the person that you can hold down the fort, and they've done a great job of doing that to start the year. When she comes back, they go at a different pace. Yeah. She is that special, and she's been that special since she's been in the league.
Yeah, we are awaiting your arrival. Joe, I know you mentioned earlier about all of the accolades that the Las Vegas Aces have accomplished already. What's their impact? What would you say is like the biggest impact that they've made on the city and in women's basketball as a whole?
I think they made it cool. Like, honestly, like when living in Southern California, I think I don't even know if I've never been to a Sparks game.
You haven't?
Never been to a Sparks game. Covered the Lakers, covered the Clippers, did radio for the Clippers, pregame show, all that. Never went to a Sparks game. Never had interest. My daughter, never had interest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go to that, Dad.
Yeah.
But an Aces game, I've been to more Aces games. I love Aces games. Their intros are always fresh. The environment is cool. Shout out Chet Buchanan for keeping the crowd hype all game long. Like, everything up. I think you see little girls walking around with Aces jerseys. You see little boys running around with Aces jerseys. Grown men wearing Aces jerseys. Mm-hmm. Grandmas and grandpas wearing Aces jerseys. And this is just walking around Mandalay Bay. Like, how cool is that?
Hey, shout out to you gave Chet his love.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Joe and CJ.
Yes.
Because they MC the hell out of it. It's a hell of an event, partly because of them.
I mean, I've had people hit me up like, "Hey man, can you get me tickets?" No. Like no, like, and the tickets are affordable. So like,
They are very affordable.
Not no more. y'all need to check.
Well, I had
things have changed.
No, one of my friends says he got his season tickets. It was like $25 a piece for each game.
Well, how many years ago was that?
He must have got it this past year.
Really?
bro,
And
like,
he sells them. He resells them, but 25 a piece is crazy.
Man, go on and look on Axis or any other joints right now. and
Maybe
look
like
at the
$100
prices
for a ticket.
what-
That's still
for
not
what-
bad.
I didn't see nothing for no $100. Maybe up at the top.
Yeah.
Check it. When we get finished with the show, look at it. See how things have changed.
Man, look, like-
you walk into the place. Do you remember when it was the Grand Canyon? You can hear claps. Look at it now. We said this was gonna happen.
when you can hear them yelling at Liz.
Exactly.
When you hear Brittany Griner walking off telling her coach, "Shut up, B, don't talk to me like that." In a playoff game, yeah, I was right there. I was
Real
like,
talk.
damn, like,
And you can hear all of it.
but compared to a Raiders game, compared to a Golden Knights game, it's an affordable ticket.
Compared to that, yeah.
And
for
you
sure.
know, I mean, it's comparable, I think, to UNLV.
What's comparable to UNLV?
A UNLV
With
football
prices?
game, pricing tickets, yes.
Hey, man, I don't think, I don't know in the last, I was just on here last night.
I don't buy tickets.
I'm thinking about going to the game and sitting up close, but like that things didn't change, bro.
But I think at the end of the day, like their impact on the city, outside of maybe the Raiders and what they do in the community, and they may have the next biggest impact. And you know, and that's no disrespect to the Golden Knights.
Right.
You just don't see them in the community like that. And but then again, it goes look at who owns both teams and how he feels about the community. It's Mark Davis.
I think we're leaving something out though. It's a collection of talent that has made them successful and has made them champions. There's a collection of personalities that has made them famous.
Relationships, sisterhood,
That's
it can go
what-
all
watch
along.
them on social media. It is entertaining. I would love to see a Hard Knocks type show.
With them, yes.
Oh my
so that
God.
would be that would be cool.
It's straight comedy constantly. Did you see them leave the rookie?
Yes, on the
Have to
bus.
run it behind the bus. Like, bro, like that is when you talk about team chemistry, when you talk about just catching lightning in a bottle, they put a team together, and that's why I said it on our first segment. Now, you asked at the beginning of this segment, does Asia get her due? I think the question is broader. Do the Aces get their due for what they've done? I just talked about the growth in the league last year. It's been exponential growth again this year. Credit to the rookies. But that growth that happened last year, credit to the Las Vegas Aces.
But let's talk about those rookies real quick. Like everybody wants to talk about Caitlyn Clark. Everybody wants to talk about Angel Reese. But Cameron Brink, okay, balling in LA.
I think everybody's talking about her too, though.
But not like the other two. Not like the other two. You hear Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese more than anything because they're forever going to be like Magic and Bird after what happened 2 years ago in the women's in the Sweet 16 or Final Four.
Yeah.
They're in the Final Four. But the Aces drafted Katie Martin.
Yes.
She's getting serious run on
She is.
the defending champions, making an impact.
She is.
It's not going to be the popular name for everybody.
Right.
But it's going to be. When you're gonna look up, you're gonna be like, "What the hell how the hell did she do that?
You're gonna
Where
be
did
the
she
rookie
come
holding
from?"
that trophy. The
For
rest
real.
of them won't.
For real. So I mean, like credit Nikki Fargas
Yeah.
and the front office for everything that they do. They do a great job scouting.
Yeah.
They do a great job and Becky for targeting and say this is the type of player that we want.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go get this type of player versus, oh well, this is just the name, so we can go bring the lady they drafted from Syracuse, third all-time leading scorer in the league. They cut her.
Yeah.
Like you don't fit.
Right.
Got to go. And Chelsea's coming back.
It is what it is.
Sorry, I mean, and it's not that she's a bad player. It's just that you look at the ones that are gonna make an impact.
Look, I don't want to go off subject, but I do want to touch on this whole rookie thing, right? A rookie is a rookie. You're a scrub, okay? You're gonna get treated badly by the upper echelon of the league. Period. Caitlyn Clark was an 8th grader last year. She was the top dog. Now she's a freshman. When you're a freshman, what happens to you?
Yeah,
You, my friend, card-carrying member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, correct?
Yo, of course.
You are not a black man, correct?
Spanish and then Sicilian.
Thank you. Did they take a doo-doo on your head
Let me put
to get you over the line or not?
Let me say, I pledged down south, so it's a little bit different down there. And the fact that I am melanin impaired, oh yeah, I got it bad.
So I'm saying, man,
pretty pale.
This is what happens. I remember going on tour in the beginning when I was just a little kid in a group, right? We was on tour with the Jodeci's and the Boys to Men and all the older guys. I mean, they used to treat us like scrubs. Man, listen, these dudes hooked me up with Beatrice the mattress, and I thought I was in love. On the bus out of town, they told me about Beatrice the mattress.
Oh boy.
That's what you do to rookies. That's just how
Your mama's gonna kill you for telling that story, dog.
It is what it is. But this has been going on since the beginning of time. All right?
Yeah.
Rookie hazing, rookies getting chucks and elbows and all this and that. It happens.
They have to
It's
earn
a
their
part-
spot.
They got to earn their
Hey,
spot.
I'm gonna point this out there. You know who's not complaining about any of the elbows and things?
Who?
Katie Martin with the Aces. I'm just gonna say.
There you go.
All right, guys, we're moving it along. Coming up next is the meme machine. If you are brand new here to our show, we pick a favorite popular meme and we break it down. These guys are always debating, so I'm super excited to see what you guys have to say in regards to this one. Be back.
This section was brought to you by Coldwell Banker Premier Realty. Coldwell Banker is a service-driven, highly productive team of professional sales and support people who are dedicated to consistently providing superior real estate brokerage and related services, setting the industry standard of value and excellence.
Welcome back into the Franchise Podcast. All right, guys, so this week's meme, we're going to be covering Method Man. He says he is never performing at Hot 97's Summer Jam again. TQ, since you are the performing recording artist, I want to hear your thoughts in regards to this. He says that it's a generational gap.
Yeah.
Do you believe, sitting from an outsider perspective, since you weren't there, right? You didn't see the flow of the crowd or what took place,
Right.
but what's your opinion in regard to that?
I mean, look, New York's Summer Jam it's the biggest show of the summer, period. And it always has been. There's always some kind of legendary performance that happens at Summer Jams that like stands the test of time, right? I never did Summer Jam. I wasn't popping in New York like that, right? But I will say, last year was the 50th year of hip hop, all right? There is a bona fide adult contemporary section of hip hop now. R&B has had that for years. When I was a young pup in the R&B game, we were able to get paired with some of the older artists and the greats, right? Because we were doing the things that they had done before, right? When it comes down to hip hop, everything has completely changed. Method Man, Redman, these are rappers in the sense of the word that we think about as rappers. Rappers for us started with Crush Groove, these dudes, right? Then it moved to them guys there in the front, right? Started with Run DMC. They the ones that laid the foundation, and then NWA took it to the next level for us in our generation, right? As a performer, I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, if I come out of that, do I want to do a show with Sexy Red?
Hell
Oh,
no.
God.
I just don't. That's no knock to Sexy Red. Sexy Red does what her crowd likes her to do. That's not my type of shit, whatever. But I don't want to be billed on that, right? So I understand where Method Man is coming from. I understand the generational gap. I think that the hip hop community has to do a better job of understanding, naming or whatever else, but making just differentiating between hip hop for the young folks and adult contemporary hip hop. We are the generation that took the foundation of it and blew it to what it is now. There is a Sexy Red because of Method Man. There is a little this, little that, little this, little that, little this, little that.
Young whoever.
Young this, young that, young this. They wouldn't be doing any of the trash that they doing if it wasn't for these dudes right here. So I completely get it. If I was in that position, I would feel the same way. I saw tape from the show. Kids was booing. Kids were booing. Method Man and Redman, two of the most energetic. I mean, you know, if you go to these people's show and you're from our generation, I don't give a damn where it's at. You could be from LA, Chicago, New York, whatever. That is going to entertain you. But it didn't for the kids.
Hey, you get off my cloud. But I agree with you, and that's the first thing I thought. That's what I thought about. Like when you talked about our generation, how NWA changed. The next group that changed it was Wu-Tang Clan.
Fact.
And you're talking about Method Man, who was the face, is the face of Wu-Tang. No disrespect to Ghost, Ray, RZA, Jizza, You God.
But the majority of the people that was there at Summer Jam to watch that show,
they weren't there for him.
they don't know who Wu-Tang is.
And that's a problem. And like when I got into radio, Gary DeMaroni, who's a legend in radio, is my first boss. You know Gary. Gary is an innovator when it comes to radio. And he said, he sent me down to the office and he goes, okay, you're my morning show host. All right, cool. For the CHR urban station. Cool. And you want to do sports talk too? I said, yeah. He goes, why? And you're gonna know the reference. I go, I don't want to be Rick Dees in my 60s saying it now, the next 50 Cent song. Rick Dees in LA did radio from like 1950, Richie Valens, all the way through like 2010.
Yes.
Like he is a staple, top 40.
Absolutely.
But I thought it was tacky. But I didn't have the foresight to think that there's going to be a contemporary hip hop 20 years from now, 25 years from now.
We were told it wasn't going to last. Nobody
Exactly.
said that about R&B or country or reggae or any of the rest of it. They said to us that our genre was not going to last. And it did. I think the big difference is, I think the generational gap that Method Man is talking about.
Because millennials would like that.
You would think. I think what bridged that gap a little bit between our generation and our parents' generation is most of the music that we love was their music sampled.
Yeah.
Right? When these producers are sampling stuff now, these kids don't know that those are samples. Because they sampling stuff from their grandparents. They still sampling our music.
Well, tell the story.
My mom could come
point.
and hear me listening to a song
That's a good
and
point.
say, "Oh, that's such and such."
But
that's
it's not.
such and
But
such.
it's not just this generation. When you did Way of Life, Wayne didn't know who you sampled.
Oh, no, yes, he did.
Well, who's the one that didn't know where the sample came from?
Who win?
When you guys did Way of Life, because we had talked when we did a radio interview. You're like, did you realize that they didn't even know who?
Oh no, what it was is everybody was saying that we were sampling Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As opposed to sampling Dennis Edwards.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I heard Hit 'Em Up, I thought it did it. I was like, I thought about the video, like dude's facing the video. I was like, hey, like whoa,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but,
Dennis was on that.
Yeah, he was skiing a lot. He was going skiing a lot. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, like for me, it's like Summer Jam used to be like, okay, who's gonna come out and put something on the big screen? Is it gonna be Jay dissing Nas or whatever? But then I look at, remember what was the one in 92.3? The Beat had one.
Summer Jam.
That was Summer Jam.
Called Summer Jam too.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Powerhouse for Power 106 in LA. That was cool. I think with the quality of music, and we look at it as it's going down because there isn't a lot of subjects that's being talked about, the subject matter, what they're singing about or rapping about, whatever.
Very true.
Very different now than what it was with us.
Right.
So I think, and you're looking at 2 and 3 minute songs now.
Yeah.
For instance, recently I saw Mario perform. Right? He was we were out doing business, saw Mario perform. He had a cool performance. I was like, okay, this is like, he's cool.
Mario can sing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another time
real.
I watched another artist and it was like, what the hell am I watching? Like I literally left. Like, I mean, luckily I was leaving anyway.
Right.
But I was like, I stay out. Let me see you got to grab me with the opener. And I was like, whack. Like,
I mean, I think you got to look at it as, we're talking about a gap.
Yeah.
Right? I think that the gap between us and the kids now is much larger than the gap between us and our parents. Our parents and our grandparents' music. And once again, that's because of sampling. That's because of the fact that we grew up listening to our parents' music when we were young. Then these guys come back and basically regurgitate our parents' music without the conks and the shiny suits and all of that. They dress like this. They look like us. They sound like us. They're talking about what we want to hear and what we're experiencing, but our parents can still enjoy it because it's set to James Brown.
They can hear Eddie Kane.
Parliament Funkadelic. It's set to the Commodores. It's set to all Marvin Gaye.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. All of these records that they grew up listening to. Yeah. And when we were little bitty pups, we had to listen to because they were listening to them. We grew to love them. The pioneers came back, flipped them up, gave them to us again, and we started loving them more. What's happened since then? A lot of stuff that's not that. So that generational gap that Method Man is talking about is valid. I understand where he's coming from. Everything I'm saying here, it's no knock to the young people because I remember my parents saying, they cussing too much. These dudes, them too. You can't listen to, can't listen to that in here. I get it. There was a gap there. They ain't doing nothing but talking just like we talking at school. Y'all just don't know.
Yeah, and they didn't want to know. Exactly. And I'll say this and be my last point with this. That's why it's important for shows like Rock the Bells to be around.
Agreed.
Because that allows our generation, our artists, that we can go when there's some older hip hop event and R&B event here in Vegas to go check that out. Because the younger generation is going to have their music. They were the voice of they spoke about what we were going through on a consistent basis, on a daily basis at times. Right. This generation, these artists are speaking what they're going through. And I hate this saying because I think there is only one truth, but they're speaking their truth.
Hey, when I first went on tour, actually it was before that when we decided to record an album. I was working with Mike Mosley, I was working with DJ Quick, I was working with a lot of real musicians, right? And to do a session back then, it was a band in the studio for my records. So when it was time to go out on the road, and Sony was like, okay, we love you performing with the band, how you want to put the band together? I'm like, give me the dudes that played on All Eyes on Me. Give me the dudes that played on Machiavelli. Give me the dudes that played on The Chronic. Those are the people I want to roll with me. Well, all of those were older cats from Detroit that migrated to LA, right? And I think the oldest person in my band was probably 57 or 58 when I came out. Can you imagine being on a bus with somebody that's been playing guitar that long, who's played for
he schooled you.
Funkadelic,
he had to school
played
you.
for Shaka Khan, played with Prince, played with Jimi Hendrix, all of these people. They told me something really valuable. The decades of music has matched the drugs. The 60s sound like heroin. The 70s sound like acid. The 80s sound like coke, don't it?
Cocaine.
What the 90s sound like?
Good comparison.
Smoke weed every day.
I'm saying.
And what did the 2000s?
When it got to the 2000s, I think that's when the pills came in.
Yeah.
The ecstasy and
that
the
purple
MDMA
stuff.
and the purple
That's
stuff,
a very good
all
point.
of that stuff started happening. So it's just kind of gone out of
Very
whack.
good point.
Yeah.
Right? That made sense then. It makes sense now. That's why these are the reasons why we have that gap. I understand where Method Man is coming from, and I wouldn't take a show like that again if I was him.
Meth, when you're in Vegas, you have an open table to come chill with us. Speak your mind, whatever you want to say. Redman, woo, whoever. If you're an artist, you want to come to Vegas and you're in Vegas, holla at us. We got you. You can have an open forum to say what you want. It's all love here. Trust us. You're with you a family.
Everybody has an opportunity to come speak with us
100.
on June 18th at the Sierra Gold. What is it, Rainbow and 215?
Yep.
Yes.
It's gonna be an
Jones
exciting
in
one.
215.
Jones.
Correct me. Jones in 215. We will all be there, guys. Repping the franchise all day. That's all we have. You guys have any closing thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, I'm a double down on that. come out on the 18th. Pull up if you're in Vegas, if you're around. It's the best PT's location in the city. It's PT Sierra Gold. It's a beautiful spot.
Lots of parking.
Absolutely, lots of parking.
Food is bomb.
Come on in, man. It's happy hour. We starting to shoot at 5. We're gonna go to 6.
No, 7.
Are we shooting for 2 hours?
Yeah,
Oh,
7.
okay.
7.
Well, when we get finished, we're coming out to drink. That's what I'm saying. So pull up, have a drink with your boy. We're gonna have some giveaways.
Bring
We
your
got some
mamas,
special
your daddies,
guests.
bring everybody.
Bring everybody. Come on out, man.
To that point, confirmed guests so far, UNLV football head coach Barry Odom will be joining us
Yes.
during the show. Also, the Ninth Island
Yes.
Raider podcast, so a lot of music stuff. Samoan Raider, Mr. Fitz, they're joining us. That's just happening today, and there'll be a special announcement with them on us. A huge announcement.
Yes.
And we have more guests lined up. We're just not going to tell you right now because we've got to keep teasing it and building it up. But I want to thank Wicked. I want to thank Golden because they reached out to us to try to make this thing happen, and we want everybody to come out. So if you guys see this, if you're in Vegas on the 18th. Come have dinner over there. The food is phenomenal. It's not just bar food. It's really good food. Drink specials are going to be flowing all night. We got an hour before. We have something special going on. And then afterwards, something going on with basically like a big mixer. So come have some fun on the 18th.
It's going to be exciting. Thanks, guys, for joining us for this week's episode. We'll see y'all next week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, put those alert buttons on. We'll see y'all later.
Aces.
Aces.
Championship, baby.
Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss.